So let's start right there, right? That's something really exciting to talk about.
Uh, the breathwork challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a breathing protocol that our founder Niraj came up with. It You can say it teaches people from how to breathe from scratch. From you did the sessions with me already before,
Mm-hmm.
like before. So when you do rhythmic breathing, in for two, out for four, which is the very basic one, the very relaxing one,
Yeah.
and we just do 2 rounds at the beginning. It's very very short, up to like 6 rounds. So it's a how to say that, and it's a very uh, he dives deeply into everything related to breath work. What are the benefits? He even gives in there um, I don't know. I don't want to say life hacks, but like let's say hacks that help you daily in your daily life. Food, sleep, lots of wisdom in there. And so every now and then they would, or he would, in a way, try to improve it, add something. Like let's say maybe sometimes makes in this one he made the sessions less longer, shorter, because a lot of people would complain they were a bit long, you know. So unless you're super dedicated, you would miss here and there. He wanted us to do it every day without missing any session. It was 21 day, and after we finish, he gives us like what to do after, how to proceed or to continue further after you did the challenge. And to be honest, like I'm amazed by so I think I'm biased because I'm an instructor already, but it's my second time doing it. But people who join always, you just wanna watch and listen to people's testimonials, like what happened, like the before and after. Uh, it's amazing, honestly. I cannot advise it enough. You just have I want to say, had a taste with a few sessions. So imagine that you do this every day, and it in a way. You have supervision all the time because we had many instructors with us. So anything you need, you're supported in anything, anytime, you know. So whoever wants to know more, I can definitely at the end of the session tell them where to go, how to and to check it if they're interested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're gonna also leave all of your information below this video so people can reach out to you and kind of if they're interested in breath work, they can reach out to you and they can get you that way. What I found really interesting, Maha, is since you started introducing me to this, I hear it from other places now too, how people are involved in soma breath work and also other types of breath work. And one person was explaining it really beautifully. She was talking about the cities in India, the masters, and how they figured out that when you hold your out breath, which is what you do, or I know you do a lot of things, but that's one of the things. There's
Mm.
tremendous potential in that. There's just like they figured out that when you do that, you can reach other realities, other dimensions. You can heal yourself, like you've been telling me about. And it's kind of like, it's almost like an activation tool for your entire biological technology, if we can say that.
The key of when they talk about biohacks and stuff, you can say breath is the key because first of all, uh, they all we like it's a saying. Honestly, I didn't understand it before when they say activate your inner pharmacy. We have everything inside us when it comes to anything you want. Not only the healing, the wisdom, and everything, right? But now, since we're talking about breath work, um, first of all, I need to mention that there are too many techniques, you know, like there's Wim Hof, there is holotropic, like different techniques. And as I told you before, I tried before like a very heavy breathing, and it was very therapeutic because I was going through a lot of anger issues. And for me, that was one of the. So when I used to see this therapist, we used to just work with breath work. For me, that was back in the day. It was just I'm doing this for that. So I didn't know more. And then when I got into yoga, we started, learning again. There's a lot of techniques in yoga, different pranayama techniques, and each technique helps in something. So, but these techniques, you don't do them like daily, it's just, I mean, daily for what we do, like daily, let's say you have this session, you do it every day for 2 rounds, 4 rounds, it depends. In your yoga classes, I mean, with the instructors, sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes, this is, at least for me, this is how it was, very short. And when I don't go to the yoga class, I miss it, that's it. So what you're talking about is the intermittent hypoxia, which is, again, everything in soma breath is, it's like a mix of pranayama that's from the ancient yogic teachings. You can say infused with a lot of science as well. Because it's so far, this 21-day challenge I'm telling you about is backed by Cambridge University. They studied it and like it's crazy, crazy good. So there are too many benefits, and I'm not someone who's gonna just come and talk now about breath work because everyone knows. I mean, at least people who know or who follow about breath work, right? But I'm talking about now the intermittent hypoxia, which is in a way, it's the main theme of our sessions, of our journeys, because we do rhythmic breathing, which is you breathe, let's say, for 2, breathe out for in for 2, out for 4, in for 4, out for 8. It depends. Like there are too many rhythms that we do, but after a few more minutes of the rhythmic breathing, we do the intermittent hypoxia, which is you breathe in, you take a deep breath in, and then you exhale fully, you empty your lungs, and then you hold on empty. Mm-hmm. The idea here is to try to teach the body to tolerate CO2, the carbon dioxide, because as far as I can remember, or as I recall, I studied biology before and I studied anatomy, back in school. And so far, not only me, I mean, I think the majority of people, we think of carbon dioxide as the devil. Because we, we always try to take as much oxygen as we want. We don't want the CO2 in the body. Until when I started learning these techniques, and then I learned that the carbon dioxide is essential in the body for the distribution of oxygen throughout your body. Otherwise, the oxygen molecule won't get distributed into the tissues. So thanks to CO2, this is what happens, And then CO2 is, when we're doing that, we're imitating the high altitude training, where we try to deprive the body from oxygen as much as possible, because when we do that, not only it's for rejuvenation and it's for, the cardiovascular health and all this, the main thing for me is the healing aspect, which is this activates the stem cell in the body. Stem cells are the cells that can take any shape. So let's say you have any kind of injury in any part of your body. When you inject stem cells, these cells transform into the cells, let's say it's a shoulder injury, knee injury, whatever. They become the cells of the same area where you injected them. Okay? But the thing with stem cells, they don't like oxygen. So they always hide in places where there is less oxygen. This is why we find them in the bone marrow and in the spine, So when you do the intermittent hypoxia, when you try to deprive the body from oxygen for 60 to 90 minutes, this is when you hit the hypoxia, the stem cells immediately just like they show up, because as if they've been called to do something, And this is where the healing happens. This is where the magic happens. So this is what I don't know. It has a name, and honestly, I don't remember it now. In the Indian terminology, the Sanskrit for the intermittent hypoxia, but the one that you're talking about, this is it. So yeah, there's like a lot of benefits. It's just sometimes I think we need to just keep an open mind and try to try new things,
Yeah, I think it's really beautiful, and also what you're talking about, and in a very kind of almost scientific way, right? Which is important.
Yeah.
It's important to understand that this is what's happening. But what happens on an experiential level, which for me, when I've done breath work with you, as you're holding your breath for that 60 to 90 seconds, you have the potential to enter into, what people refer to as like the Higgs
Altered
field,
state.
or the 0 point field, or universe, or cosmos, or however you want to refer to it. And that's a really beautiful feeling, because you come back feeling more calm, more relaxed, more safe, right? You have this it's this kind of sensation of being held. And so that experience I had during your breathwork sessions. So I think it for me, it has that healing capability, but it also is so healing for your nervous system.
Definitely. See, okay, I don't. The idea is I don't want to turn the session into like a science session. I
No,
don't want to
no,
just like about
it's
breath. I'm
perfect.
trying to give people as much, just like hints.
Yes.
The part that comes to 1 second, please. The part that comes to the altered states of awareness. So one of the slogans in the Soma breath is get high on your own supply. So people who do recreational drugs, or like magic mushrooms, MDA, and all these substances, they know when we speak about of altered states of awareness, which is like you, in a way, you leave this reality and you go somewhere else. And I've tried magic mushrooms many times, and I love them, but the idea is it's not something you can do every day, and it's not something that's safe if you don't have a sitter, or if you don't do it in a safe environment. But we're talking about something that you can do in your own bed, in your own living room, alone, and it's
Absolutely for free, right?
exactly for free,
Yeah.
without fear of anything, because it's you have it. You don't need anything from from outside, So I just should mention here that one of the so from the I don't remember if it's a Greek or like very, again, ancient civilizations.
Mm.
They used to ingest a type of plants that was called soma, and it would lead them to, or it takes them into, altered states of awareness. And at a certain point, it just disappeared. They didn't find it any longer. So this is why they came, like they started looking to something that's gonna lead them to the same result, to being in these altered states of awareness. And this is how they start doing these breath techniques. And in a way, this is where the soma breath comes from, because one of its aspects is that it takes you into these altered states of awareness. So again, this happens on. Some people would think like, okay, I'm gonna try it now. No, you have to practice a little bit until you at least get good at the rhythmic breathing, and at least until you can hold your breath for like 60 to 90 seconds, where you can go. Because if you come to practice the session, let's say someone is watching now and they do have the expectations, and they come to the session and it doesn't happen, they would tell you like, no, this is not true, or whatever, because it happens many times. You should not come in having the expectations. Just come in and practice as much as you need until you get there, and it's gonna happen. I think it happened with you first or second time, and you
First
didn't
time,
have
I
any
think.
idea.
Yeah,
You
first
didn't have an
time.
idea. You just
No,
came in like you didn't have any expectations, and you
no.
just you went
Yeah,
there.
it
So
just happened. Yeah. But I
yeah,
think what I find so beautiful too is it's kind of like it's almost as if, and at least for me, maybe a little bit for you too, is we're rediscovering this beautiful ancient technique that has been in humanity for such a long time. And I see such big potential in this. Like you had mentioned earlier in our conversation that, you have your own pharmacy, so it has this complete potential for healing, and then it has potential for you to tune into our altered states of awareness. But I also kind of see it as something that is just, that's just the beginning. It probably has so many more potential of like turning on certain things within ourselves that we've forgotten about. Like, and I'm just like gonna throw it out there, like telepathy and, all these kind of beautiful technologies that I feel like we all have the capabilities of having. We just kind of forgot.
Yes. It's just, first of all, it activates something inside you. That's one. And as we always talk, me and you, it's like you start remembering because the moment you start connecting to your breath, you feel different. Again, I keep saying, if you do this, I do it religiously. Everyone now in the tribe, like they do it religiously because when you taste what happens, you cannot stop, and you feel different on the spot, and once you start seeing the difference and feeling, um, although sometimes I always say it's subtle, like I don't know between yesterday and today what happened, but if I look back now since I started until now, I'm like, it's huge, right? So it's very subtle changes, but it it's a lot of change at the end,
Yeah. It
and
adds up, right? It's
exactly.
yeah.
And the idea is, especially when it's a group setting, like we're breathing all together and we're exhaling together. So the energy is crazy. You're connecting to, like all the people are connected to the same breath. So, and I believe this is what you're talking about. This is what leads to that. In a way, you're like every day there are new people coming. Every day you feel like, although people you've never met before, you don't know from like anywhere before, but there is an instant. Um, I don't know what's the word honestly to use, but you feel something. You're connected to a bigger group, a bigger tribe that you thought like you've never knew it's there before, right? And it's all happening just because we're breathing together, like simple. Um, and
That's so beautiful. I'm sorry, Maha. I just want to say something because when you spoke about that, the thing that came up into my mind was one breath.
yes,
You all are joined in one breath, and it
exactly.
that becomes so beautiful.
Yeah, the energy is.
Yeah.
I honestly, again, see when you're talking about something that you're doing, or this is your work now. I don't look at it as work because it's just like you're just being there and flowing. It's just like whatever happens, whatever comes, and there is like this calm and this trust. Like I've never had this before, never.
Wow.
So yeah, it's still in a way, it pains me kind of when I
Mm.
talk and I see like people are just like nowhere near this yet,
Wow.
but in a way I have this trust that whenever the time is right, everyone will gonna be doing this, so again, it's remember when yoga started just coming back, because it's been there since forever, right? So it's been, I think, around like 20 years or so when it came to the West, and the other countries start like, they want to know about yoga, they want to practice yoga.
Mhm.
And I believe now the breath is the same. Like it's going to take some time until everyone is going to be practicing it.
I agree with you 100%. And I think that, Yogananda brought yoga to the West. And I think he believed he did it in the 50s or 60s. And then, but in the beginning it was slow. And then,
Very shy, right?
yeah,
And
everyone was
yeah,
doing it. But I feel the same way about this. And this feels kind of like the next step, in that evolution of like truly understanding ourselves and understanding what we're capable of, which I find so beautiful. And like you said, people will find it on their own time when they're ready to I almost want to say like step back into their own authority and right out of victimhood and embrace, a
when they're
new
fed
way
up,
of being.
when
Yeah,
they're fed up, when they find
exactly.
that there's no other way, there is no way through except for the other day I read something, the only way through is through,
Yeah.
or the only way out is through. Like you try everything, right? All kinds of therapy, of drugs and everything, and then what? And then what? You feel like, I'm saying, you as a human being, you're gonna reach a point where you're gonna come back to the roots, to the origins, whether it's healing, whether it's yoga, whether it's breath work, all these, like, it's like something is reminding us or something of something else, until the whole picture is complete again.
I love that.
This is how I see it,
Yeah, yeah,
because
that's so
now
beautiful.
you do healing, right? And you see now a lot of people, and I am one of them. I don't want to see doctors anymore. Like literally, I don't want to see doctors anymore.
Yeah.
Just I want to talk to someone who knows about energy and who knows about like how to just do the healings with energy, because I believe that behind everything that happens in the physical body there is energy somehow,
There's
right?
an
Our
energy,
energy
yeah.
body, yeah. So I think it's a matter of time.
Yeah, I agree with you. So let's say, just for, for fun's sake, like say somebody's really interested, but they don't really know where to begin. Like how, I mean, I know you mentioned the app, but how many days would you recommend that you like at least give it so that you start to see some kind of benefit, you start to really feel it? Because I know it's all about consistency, right? If we do something once, it's not, nothing is really going to happen. But if you do something consistently, for example, yoga, right, then you start to notice things in your body. So, what would you say to that?
I'll say, see, there's no time frame for me. Like, I wouldn't tell you if you do this for this much, it's gonna be you're gonna gain that. But the idea for me, how I see it, if you're consistent for, when they say you can build a habit in 21 days, if you're consistent for, let's say, 21 days, you can, after that, it's like it's something that your body is requesting it. It's like you don't think before doing it. It's like it becomes like an autopilot. You do it. But when you practice, let's say if every day you do 3 to 5 minutes, just like the rhythmic breathing, even less, you're immediately gonna feel calm, because the whole idea, and this is, I didn't mention this, when you let's say inhale, uh, for a like deep, when we say inhale deep, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. I should explain this. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, and inhaling, let's say, for 2, exhaling for 4. So usually when you extend your exhales more than the inhale, this is where you turn on your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest. What the majority of us do all the time, we inhale through the mouth, exhale through the mouth, because we try to hyperventilate. Like all the time we're just breathing like this, and this turns on your sympathetic nervous system, which is like the fight or flight. And majority of the people are like that. And this is why if you see sometimes when someone is just like having maybe a panic attack or something, they give them this paper bag and ask them to breathe in it, because like that they take more CO2 here, because that turns on the parasympathetic nervous system, which is, it calms you down. So when you elongate and extend the exhales, you are teaching your body to tolerate CO2. CO2 calms your nervous system. If you do daily up to 3 minutes, just like say you sit in the car before you do anything, or you feel something happen and you feel like you're anxious, you want to talk in front of people and you feel anxious, just take a few moments and then breathe through the nose, exhale through the mouth, extend your exhales just for a few minutes. It's an immediate calm, you know? This is like, because you're asking me how long it's going to take for them to see the benefits. That's an immediate benefit that you can see.
That's
So
amazing. Great example.
yeah, imagine you're doing this every day for let's say 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and you make it a habit. The body, and I promise you that, I mentioned when I started doing breath work before, I struggled with chronic anxiety and anger. Like, I was angry to a point where I don't know how to describe it. And I never drank, and I never took, and I've never taken any depression pills, anxiety pills, never. Because in my mind, I don't know why, all my life I believed that we have the power to control anything in our lives. See? So it was like, for me, it was like I was challenging myself to fix it without any pills. And this is how I got into breath work before. And that led to this. And now, there is like I keep saying that in front of everyone who knows me, because there is like a cloud of calm engulfing me all the time. I can't get angry no matter what happens, because in a way, my body is learning how to just ease into stuff and how to take things just, at face value. worry anymore. I'm not anxious about anything. And it's not happening like, it's not like I'm doing this myself. It just happens as a side effects, a side effect of breathing every day, you know, breathing properly. I have to say that. So yeah. So my advice is just don't think of the time. Set your intention just to make it a habit, and then you'll notice.
Yeah.
You'll notice.
Yeah, and I love the idea of setting the intention for 21 days, because then you kind of get this, you get it going so much that you're almost going to get hooked on it, and then you love it. But it's interesting. I was just sitting here thinking, I should ask Ma how she got into this, and you answered the question like as I was thinking it. So that was really awesome.
Exactly. Speaking of the
It's like sending the thought to you. But then I was just sitting here sort of contemplating as you're talking, how beautiful isn't it that we have this very simple function in our body, our breath, which we do all the time, every day without even thinking about it. It's the what do you call it? The exchange between the outside and the inside, right? That's what our breath is, along with our food, obviously. But that's kind of it's happening continually. And for us to use it in such a simple, beautiful way, as you've been explaining really in a great way here now, and that it has all those beautiful potentials for us to also be calm, to just feel safe, and it's amazing how the power of our own breath.
we the issue is that we take it for granted, like many
Yes.
things in our lives, right? And do you know that breath, like the respiratory system, let's say, your breath is
Mm.
the only thing that's automatic, but you can control it. Like you cannot
Mhm.
control the blood circulation, you cannot control a lot of things that happen in your body
Mhm.
automatically. This is
Mm.
the only thing that you can
Mm.
control. Like, how
Mhm.
crazy is that?
Yeah, that is crazy. But, and that actually reminds me, once you have the ability to control your breath and to sit in meditation and so on, like some of the great cities, they've actually been able to control their heartbeat and to control their temperature, to control their brain waves, right? We've seen many instances of that where like monks have the ability to come into different kinds of states that we never even thought we were capable of.
Exactly,
So
breath states.
through the breath, through your focus, you can start to focus on some of those other systems as well in your body. But the breath is the gateway, I would say.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
See, so for people who, let's say, a lot of people don't know about cities and about monks and stuff, or they don't want to go there,
Yeah.
Wim Hof is one of the main examples nowadays because
Mm.
a lot of, like, there is a lot of universities and studies who studied this guy. You know,
Yeah.
he can control his body's temperature like crazy just
Yeah.
because he controls his breath.
Yes.
So, uh, like, it's magic. It's just we have to believe and try. You know.
Mm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the things I wanted to mention here is that when you breathe less, you live longer because it's you have to think of let's say if you're the mitochondria in the
And the
cell
cells. Hmm.
is what creates the energy, right? So if you breathe a lot all the time, think of it like an engine in a car. It's always working. So the more it works, the sooner uh, it's gonna go, right? So when you breathe less, you have to think that it's making less energy, which is you're gonna live longer. It's like see these, let's say, elephants, turtles, whales. They live way long because they breathe up to, I think the whales breathe, if I'm not mistaken, one breath every 2 hours or so. Elephants and turtles, they breathe very low. Even the yogis as well, they breathe a very, very low, uh, like a
Yeah.
breath per minute.
Hmm.
And the funny part is that we have a protocol that I've been doing for months now. Um, it teaches you how to breathe less per minute. So now I'm down to 4 breaths per minute.
Mm.
But I've been doing it religiously
Mm.
every morning
Mm.
for months. I still have like, I think 2 months to finish. So what happens is you breathe in for a long, let's say I breathe now, today I did breathing in for 12 seconds, breathing out for 24. It's hard, but you build it. So let's say with every, let's say this cycle now, I have to do it for 2 weeks. And then after that, we go a bit higher. So the idea is, um, after the end of this, if I continue, I will, I hope, you're gonna be breathing like less than 2 breaths per minute. This again, this is a protocol. It doesn't mean that during my daily life I would breathe just, you see. But when you have the ability to do that, this affects everything else. You will definitely breathe less than, like now I do breathe 4 to 5 breaths per minute normally, and always from in through the nose, out through the mouth, unless I am working out, because you need to hyperventilate sometimes if you're doing cardiovascular. You can't.
Yeah.
So you feel like you need more oxygen, right? And it's just, again, speaking of the calm, it's way better sleep. I used not to sleep at all before. Like my sleep was catastrophic in the like before because of the anxiety. Now, like the whole everything in my life now changed. Everything. It's just affecting literally every aspect of my life. And people would say you're exaggerating, but I promise I'm not. I'm not.
I love that. You know, and also what it makes me think of is it's almost like that with every single function in our body. So for example, the less amount of heartbeats that you have per minute, like you know, people that work out a lot, they might have like 40 beats per minute or something like that in their
Your
resting
age,
pulse.
right?
What?
It depends on your age.
Yeah,
Like
no, but it depends on how much you work out also. While other people who are not so fit might have like 60 or 70
higher.
beats,
Yes.
yeah. And the same thing with you know, you know that I was fasting for a while, and as you kind of cut out food and you eat less food and you put less food into your system, that also regenerates you, and you can detox, and your body, your cells can be prepared and all this stuff so that you can live longer, right? You kind of resetting your body. So it seems to be that way with pretty much everything. It's kind of like the less energy we use or the less repetition that we're using per minute, the longevity of our body increases in all aspects, right?
This is what I learned so far, honestly, and
Yeah.
it's fascinating because you feel it, like
Yeah.
by the way, even sleep, you need less sleep when you breathe in an efficient way. You
Mm.
find that you're energetic even if you sleep less hours. Like you don't need 8 hours, 6 hours, 5 hours are enough.
Mm.
Speaking of the cities, I'm sure you know that they sleep like 3 hours or
Or
so.
not at all. And
Or not, yeah. So
there's all these I'm reading I've been reading it for quite some time. I've been reading the Yogananda's book, the story of a autobiography of a yogi, right? And he describes many different
I'm
masters.
rereading it. I'm
Yeah.
rereading it now. Yeah.
Yeah, but like he describes all his different masters and how they have such tremendous amount of energy, and how sometimes they don't eat for 3 days, or you know, they're up very late and they almost don't sleep, and so on. And there's yogis that never sleep, you know, that they just kind of sit in meditation all day long. And to many people that can sound absolutely crazy, but again, we have to remember that we've been kind of programmed to think that, oh, we need to eat 5 meals a day, and we need to, you know, sleep 8 hours a night, and all these things. And those things are not true when you start to take control of some of your different systems, breath included, right?
What I've learned so far is that the deeper you're involved in those teachings and you apply them, the less food you need, and because you're infusing yourself with the life energy,
Energy.
right?
Yeah.
So in one of Bashar's, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Bashar, the
Yeah,
channeler.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
In one of his channeling, what I don't know what they call them. I don't want to say it's not a lecture sessions.
Oh
He
no, channelings. Yeah, he does
channelings. Yeah,
channelings.
he
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
he got asked about like this exactly this topic that are we like as a humans we're gonna reach a place where we don't need food or what like or sleep
Yeah,
or
yeah,
none of that. He
yeah.
said in 1,000 years,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
because nowadays there are people who don't need it already.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
So
Absolutely.
yeah,
It's so interesting because, and I believe that 100%, there's already people who don't eat that much. I was listening to a guy who basically just drinks water, you know, has done for many months. But here's the interesting thing. What you've been saying all this time that we've been talking is the less you breathe, the less breathing you need, right?
yes,
And I can come from an ordinary person and say the same thing about food. So the less you eat, which is in my own experience, the less food you need.
You need. Yes,
And
true.
it's so crazy because we think it's the opposite, right? I realized when I eat a lot, then I need to eat a lot, right? It's like my body wants more and more and more. When
Because
I
your stomach
fast,
would grow, and the opposite would make it shrink. So
right. Yeah.
yeah,
But when you start to eat less, your body needs less. What you need to make sure is that you're eating very nutritious and healthy things, like pure things, vegetables, fruits, and like kind of, whatever it is that you want to ingest. But it has to be quality food. But your
true.
body requires less and less and less. And guess what? You feel more energized.
Definitely, I
Mm.
agree. I
So
agree.
it's crazy. It's kind of like the world is working in opposite of what we believe.
I believe like maybe some people would agree, maybe some people wouldn't, but I
Mhm.
believe that all of this is just collective programming because this is how they turned us into consumers. So if you eat less, you're gonna spend less, and this is gonna affect a lot of companies, a lot of big pharma and all this.
Yeah,
So it's all like a chain, like a dominoes effect, right?
it is.
So something affects the other,
Yeah.
and when you do again, the opposite will happen. So
Mhm.
all we need now is just awareness. I think it's
Yeah,
free.
absolutely. So think about it, for example. So if you are able to tap into the fact that you through your breathing can become your own healer, right? You can activate your stem cells and you don't have to see doctors anymore because you can cure anything in your body. There's one thing, right? That's the pharmaceutical industry right there. And through the experience of fasting, you know that you can live on water for many days, right?
Mm.
7, 10 days, more. Some
You can
people,
live up, I think, up to a month even.
no, I've known
That's
people
we're
who've
talking
done.
extreme. We're talking extreme.
Yeah,
But
no, I know people who have done many months. So it's not like you can do it. Your body gets used to it,
yes,
right?
yes, yes, yes.
And so but then there goes the food industry, right? So it's kind of like as we start to take control of our own system and start to realize that I have so much within me and I'm not just living on food and air alone, right? And I hate to bring up the Bible, but the Bible even says this, right? It's like you're not only needing food and water, you are also of energy. That's your true nourishment,
But
right?
again, it's how they translated the books, right? Like
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
all like I don't know. I believe, all I believe honestly is that we have to be aware because it's crazy how the world is going now. And it's just, you can feel like this, you can feel the split. I'm sure you can see some people are just like becoming too aware and some people are just drowning more and more. Yeah. So,
Yeah. And the key, I think you mentioned it already, the key is consistency and dedication.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
You have to, as somebody said, chop wood and carry water, right?
yes, exactly.
Every
Yes.
single day, like the breath work, the meditation, whatever yoga practice, whatever it is that you're doing,
Going to the
fasting.
gym,
Yeah,
anything that helps you. You don't do it for some time and then that's it. This has to become your lifestyle. Otherwise, don't expect any changes.
yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
temporary, but then after that, it's not gonna last.
Hmm. Yeah. So it's about changing our habits,
Yes,
for sure. And then would say like becoming better versions of ourselves with each
yes,
thing that we do, right? Bringing that awareness into whatever it's that we're doing. And I'm sure you've had a long journey, as you were talking about anxiety and anger and on all these things, unresolved traumas, like we all do. And then eventually we come to a place where we realize that nothing around me is working, but this is working.
yes.
Yeah.
Listen, it's so easy to blame anything in your life on external circumstances and people, right? And I did
Yeah.
this for more than 20 years in my life until like you reach a place where if you're someone who's sane, who have a bit of brain, you would see that it's not the people. Like I changed countries, I moved from a place to a place to a place, and I always would say, man, people are crazy. Why? And then at a certain point, I'm like, I've been changing countries. Like, is everyone not good? Is everyone crazy, or there's something inside me that's not okay? You see, this is how it started.
Yeah.
But I stayed in victim mentality for I don't know how long, and it was bad, but it was addictive. And this is what I notice now: a lot of people around me, they're stuck, but they don't want to get out of it because it's so addictive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, you can always talk about awareness, and I know people who are in victim places, they're aware of it, but the will to change is not there. Again, like awareness by itself is not enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like it's like a kind of like a step ladder, right? You somehow get into victim mode, then you start to receive some kind of awareness, but it's not enough. And then you start to unravel that and peel that, and then eventually you're so fed up, so tired of it that it's almost like you can't wait any longer. You have to do something
You
about
hit
it.
rock bottom. You hit rock bottom, and there's nothing that helps. And
Yeah.
once you, okay, the awareness is there, and the willingness is there, because they say when the student is ready, the teacher appears,
Yes.
right? The
Yeah.
teacher, I always say, can be, I think, whatever, a quote that you read, a book, a lecture, something. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
your friend told you something,
Hmm.
and it hits home, and it would just motivate you to do something about it. But this happens when you're willing. If you're not willing, even if you have all this, anyway, you have all the resources and between your hands, right?
Yeah.
So if the willingness is not there, you're not gonna do anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the key is rock bottom because that's where we are all have to hit before we do anything about it. It has to get pretty bad.
It does, but again, Marie, if you enjoy the place, because I'll tell you, from my own experience and from a lot of people I meet or I work with, um, some people would be there in that hole and they would stay because once they're there, they receive a lot of empathy, attention. People would give them some, breadcrumbs. They live on that. This is why the feeling is addictive, and there's a fear of the unknown. Because let's say if I'm the victim now, and every time I tell my story, so one main thing is you identify with your story, it becomes a part of you, and you start telling it to everyone. This is who I am. People would give you a lot of attention and of care. Oh my God, I feel bad for you. Oh my God, Then you start being addicted to this feeling. Because, and if you're someone, let's say, is helping you to leave or they push you to move because you fear the unknown and because, in a way, your subconscious is afraid. What if I change this? I'm gonna lose a part of myself and I don't know what to expect after that. People might not like me, might not give me attention, might not give me empathy or pity. So you stay in that place.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's
Absolutely.
bad. Yes,
Yeah.
it's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's so true. It's because it becomes your identity. You like you said, you definitely latch on to that story, and we all do that, right? We
Yeah.
all do that in different ways, and it's understandable too because that pain and that trauma and that grief that we go through, each and every one of us, because let's face it, like just being humans here, this is what happens to us. We all go through a lot of pain, right? And so it's understandable to not want to face that pain and not want to deal with it. And I get it 100%. So, but hopefully now, people are ready to move a little further. And like you said, use breath work and their breath to pull themselves out of this place when they're ready.
Yeah. It's just
Mm.
because sometimes you feel bad for, especially when it's, let's say, people around you, people that you love, family
Mhm.
and close friends. And I was in there for so long. Like you feel bad because you've been in that place and you did the work, right? So you try to prescribe that what you did, give them the same like advice or no. But now I'm here. I can make it easier for you because I can hold your hand and lead you. But no, it doesn't work as well because if they're not willing, you can do nothing about it. You see?
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's a really tough realization because as you feel so great, right? You've been doing all this stuff, you feel amazing, you want to share with other people, and then you start to realize, oh wait, they're not ready and they're not, they can't totally hear me, and it's like heartbreaking because you really want to help.
and the gills hit you because you feel like in a way you try to dim your light now because now you're shining and they're not, and in a way you don't want to show like feeling happy or ecstatic in front of them makes you feel bad because man they're still miserable until you learn that you cannot get sick enough to help sick people get well, right? So you need to just go full power, do what you need to do. And this is, but at least you lead by example. Or if you're not going to lead by example, just your energy when you're vibing high, it ripples. They feel it. So
Yeah.
it's going to make them feel good at least, you see? So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
that was a
agree.
very long, hard lesson.
Yes, I know. I know. Trying to save everyone, right? It's really difficult, but yeah. And eventually you step out of that too. So that's also part of the journey, right?
Yes, yes. When
Also
you
the
learn that,
acceptance.
yeah, when you learn that it's their journey, they need to learn what they need to learn. You cannot interfere in that because it's like when you're trying to impose what you learned, it's like you're giving them a shortcut. And shortcuts are not allowed because they need to go through a lot of stuff to reach a certain a certain point, right? Yeah, so
Yeah. Lots and lots of wisdom here. I love your energy, Maha. It's like you're so energized and passionate about it and you have so many realizations. It's really awesome.
honestly, listen, when you again, everything that you learn, I find that like you learn a lot of stuff through books, from I don't know videos, mentors, and all this, but nothing sticks and nothing feels that authentic unless you literally lived it and learned from it. You see. So and that this was for me a very hard lesson because I've always been someone who wants to help everybody, especially my siblings, my family, you know.
Yeah.
But when you feel like, or when you learn, like, just do you and leave everyone alone, that was very hard because it's like you're detaching from everyone, and here there's like the guilt and the selfishness like hit until you learn no 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 no, just do you, and then later we'll see. Yeah, so
Yeah. I think that's beautiful. And it's also a good lesson for us, for anyone who's
but I mean
listening who are in this position. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, all of us we have again, listen, I don't know, like I meet a lot of people. I always say I'm lucky, I always meet good people, but I think like you always attract like attracts attract likes attract likes. So you meet with people who are similar in a way or another, so they have the same situations, and most of the times like this is to teach you and to like you learn from them, and then after that you teach them again. It's like there is this exchange of energy, of lessons, if you can say that. Yeah, so
Mm.
it's just fascinating how things
Hmm.
work.
It is fascinating. And also you don't know where things are going to lead. You know, you might sow a seed for someone and then later, many months or many years later, they see a book or they go to a lecture or something and all of a sudden things click for them and they're just like, "Huh, okay, now I'm ready for this," right? So you kind of don't know how you affect people even when you think you're not affecting people also.
I This happens with me a lot, and this is one of the things that I love the most because before, when I use, let's say, if I'm telling you, let's say you're my dear friend and I'm giving you advice, I would be invested emotionally like a lot. And in a way, if you don't take my advice, I would feel sometimes like deep down, why would you ask for advice if you're not gonna use it? Like it used to annoy me, honestly, you know, because how I see it, like I'm using all my energy and all my mental faculties to just give you something, just do something about it. That was before. But then with time, you know, as when I start learning that no, sometimes you just as you just said, you implant the seed and leave it.
Mhm.
And I promise, like a lot of times now, I meet with friends that I haven't seen for so long, and they would, do you remember when you once told me this, or when you once shared this with me? And I forgot completely because I'm like, you know. But again, it's like it comes like back full circle because it happened once, and I just let go of it, and then imagine when the person is ready, the seed is there. You see?
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So it works in beautiful ways, right? We're not even aware of all of the beauty that we are creating sometimes. And we think, oh, that didn't go so well, but then it comes around and it's a, you know, it changed someone's life completely, possibly, right? So we don't know. So there's compassion and forgiveness for that too, also within ourselves, right?
and no expectations, you know, I saw that. You see
Mm-hmm.
an example of that in many of the classes I did before. Let's say we're a group and someone would you suggest a book. What I always do when someone suggests a book, I would find the book immediately and take a screenshot. So I have a list of books that I want to read. And I would forget because I have a huge list, right? So later on, I don't know, life happens and stuff. Oh no, we're going, life goes on. And then suddenly, I don't know how someone recommends a book. And then I'm like, this book makes sense because I've seen the cover before or the name. I would go to my list after reading the book sometimes. I would go to my list and I would find that this book, I have the name for 3 years, but I haven't, like, I never thought of reading it. But this tells you that if I read this book back in the day, I wouldn't understand it. Like,
Right.
it happened with me with too many complicated books, and I'm like, man, that's crazy. Because if I got this book back then, I would immediately, I'm like, no, that's not for me. You see? So when the time is right, it's
Mhm.
gonna happen. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, just having faith in that and trusting it that it's, on your timeline, that's when things will
yeah,
appear that you exactly need. And I feel like also those synchronicities are like speeding up. It's almost like now it's happening every single day where you're like you're thinking about something, then boom, you see it, or it comes up, it comes towards you, and it's just like, and sometimes it's several times a day. It's
the
so
clearer
fascinating.
the clearer you are and the more connected you are, you see them because I think they always happen, but we were not tuned in before. Like we're not attentive.
Yeah, you're right.
So
Yeah, signals are constantly there, and the
exactly.
more we kind of have the ability to be open and step into them, the more we really start to
The more
acknowledge
present you
them.
are to notice. That's the idea.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
love that. All right, so any final advice for anyone who's struggling right now or having a hard time or really is really interested in breath work?
it's not. It's see. This is not like marketing for breath work. It's
I know.
just for anyone who's struggling. First of all, nothing lasts forever. You know, good times, bad times. Everything changes in life. Nothing is constant, but change, right? So I always tell people just have faith, have faith that you are supported and you are not alone because we're always afraid that I don't have anybody. Even if you don't have anybody physically, trust that the universe is supporting you. You have like a hidden team behind you that's always there. But all you need to do is just try to be present. Try to, as we just spoke about, like notice, and you cannot notice until you become present. And usually the first key to being present is breathing. Usually we say meditation, right? But a lot of people still find it hard to meditate. But usually when you're meditating while putting your attention on the breath, it helps a lot because when you're noticing your breath, your mind cannot go haywire. Just like you have to be present to notice the breath. So just by a few simple breaths a day as a start, I promise you that everything will change. So you have to just be patient and have compassion for yourself. Like, don't beat yourself up. If things didn't work, if things haven't happened yet, everything happens when it's the right time for it to happen.
Mm, thank you. That's really amazing. And
Thank
it's
you.
true. I've experienced it myself in my own life, so I know.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, see, again, everything I share is something that this is what worked for me because again, I was super anxious. I was always worried, having plans A, B, C all the time. I have to have plans. Now, just nothing. It's just like whatever comes.
Hmm.
Yeah, because the universe. This is something I learned. The universe sends you what you need, not what you want, because it knows your journey more than you do. So you came here, you already had everything in front of you, like you agreed on everything, right? But you forgot. The universe still remembers. So you try to choose stuff or to choose people, but the universe will drive them away sometimes because it knows what you need now, not what you want. So just trust that.
So you think about that old Rolling Stones song, right? You can't always get what you want, you get what you need.
I don't know the song.
And you
Can you sing?
don't? I'm not
I
gonna
did
start
that
singing
because
now.
no, because I started listening to English music later in life. Like I was more
Ah,
I'm more
okay.
into Arabic music. So sometimes when people refer to songs that I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
I was not there before.
I understand. I promise you, you've heard this song. It's a very, very
Yeah,
popular
absolutely.
song.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's exactly absolutely right. You know, you get what you absolutely need, and where you're supposed to go. That's why you will be directed also, even if it doesn't seem right to you at the time.
Do
Hmm.
you know something, Marie? Again, very honestly, if someone when someone used to tell me this before, I used to get so angry. If I read it somewhere, I'm like, man, this is BS. Because when you're not there, it's hard for you to understand. You know, especially when, let's say, I didn't have anybody around me to explain this, like how, why. I didn't. I had to learn everything by myself. But now sometimes I try to, when I explain it, I try to make it as simple as possible so anyone who watch or who listens can understand it. Because again, when me and you and too many people did it, it means that this is the right thing. This is the right thing to not did it or went through it, right? And we see that this is what works. And in a way, this should help. In a way, this should tell people that you're not alone. Like we've all of us, we've been there, and we're telling you just hang on, but
Hmm.
do something in the meantime.
Yeah, right. Take action steps, even though
Yeah,
you don't feel so great. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really, I like that. It's nice. Knowing that you're not alone might be the one of the most important things because I felt very, very alone when I was there. So, knowing that you're not, that's important, you know?
same, same
Yeah.
here. Yeah, but then
Yeah.
and then when you open your heart and you open your mind, you find that your neighbor might be like you. You're someone across the street. It's just you didn't see because you're just closed.
Mhm.
Then when you're open, people just start coming from everywhere, especially
Yeah.
now in this, internet era and the Zoom and stuff. Like you can connect with people from all over the globe. So this is not an excuse anymore. When you want to like-minded people, you can always find.
Hmm.
Again, you need to take a step.
Yeah, we're living proof of it. We're on opposite sides of the world
Exactly.
and we're having this conversation. So,
Exactly, exactly.
inspiration to other people, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Maha. I love this conversation. You're full of wisdom and intelligence and just like a fountain of information about breathwork and other things too, I know, but this is what you've been focusing on lately.
Thank you so much. And I'm sorry guys if I was all over the place because like I have a lot of information and I'm so excited about the topic and sometimes I still struggle with just doing it like A B C
Mm.
D. I just do all over the place. But all I can say is just I promise you this is bless you.
All right.
What happened?
Oh, I have a sneeze attack. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's fine. So anyway, that
Mm.
was amazing, and yeah, I hope we can do something
Mhm.
different soon, some other
Yeah.
topic, because there's always plenty.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.